For more than 4,500 years, one question has haunted historians, engineers, and archaeologists alike. How did the ancient Egyptians lift massive stone blocks weighing several tons and place them hundreds of feet in the air, without cranes, without steel, without modern machines? The Great Pyramid of Giza contains more than 2 million stone blocks. Some weigh as much as a family car. Others weigh as much as an elephant. Yet somehow, these stones were moved, lifted, and positioned with astonishing precision. For centuries, people proposed incredible explanations: lost technologies, alien visitors, forgotten civilizations. But what if the answer was hidden in plain sight all along? What if ancient hieroglyphs and newly discovered evidence reveal exactly how the Egyptians did it? And what if the device they used was far more ingenious than anyone imagined? The Great Pyramid remains one of humanity's greatest achievements. Built during the reign of Khufu around 2560 BC, it stood as the tallest structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. Even today, modern engineers admire its accuracy, its alignment, its scale, and its incredible construction. Yet despite centuries of study, the exact methods used to build it remain debated. Early explorers could hardly believe humans had constructed such a monument. Some imagined lost civilizations. Others believed secret knowledge had vanished from history. As technology advanced, new theories emerged: massive ramps, counterweight systems, wooden sledges, levers. Each explanation solved part of the mystery, but none answered every question. Then archaeologists began uncovering clues hidden in ancient texts and inscriptions. Unlike later myths, these clues came directly from the Egyptians themselves, and they painted a fascinating picture. One of the most important discoveries came from ancient reliefs showing workers transporting enormous statues and stone blocks. In one famous scene, dozens of laborers pull a giant statue mounted on a wooden sledge. At first glance, it seems ordinary, but researchers notice something interesting. A worker stands in front of the sledge pouring liquid onto the ground. For years, no one understood why. Then modern experiments revealed the answer. Water reduces friction. By wetting the sand, workers could pull heavy loads far more efficiently. The discovery stunned engineers. An ancient image had preserved a practical construction technique for thousands of years. But transporting stones was only part of the challenge. The bigger mystery involved lifting them. How did blocks reach the upper levels of the pyramid? The answer may lie in a combination of engineering methods hinted at through archaeological evidence. Recent studies suggest the Egyptians relied heavily on ramps and lifting devices based on simple mechanical principles, not advanced machines, but ingenious tools built from wood, rope, stone, and human skill. Ancient hieroglyphic texts frequently describe workers, overseers, transport teams, and construction activities. While they do not provide a complete blueprint, they reveal a highly organized workforce capable of coordinating enormous projects. Far from being slaves, many pyramid builders appear to have been skilled laborers working in rotating crews. They had food supplies, medical care, housing, and specialized responsibilities. Building the pyramid required not only strength but also planning. And planning required knowledge that accumulated across generations. Then came another breakthrough. Archaeologists working near the Red Sea discovered remarkable papyrus documents. Known as a Diary of Maya, these texts describe the transportation of limestone blocks during the reign of Khufu. The writings reveal teams moving stone along canals and waterways connected to the Nile. Suddenly, historians had direct evidence showing how materials reached the construction site. The pyramid was becoming less mysterious. But the question of lifting remained. Many researchers now believe the Egyptians used a series of ramps, levers, and carefully designed lifting systems. Some evidence even points toward mechanical devices capable of raising blocks incrementally. Simple in design, yet incredibly effective. If true, these devices may have been among the earliest large-scale engineering tools ever created. And the clues may be hidden within ancient inscriptions that most people overlook, because the Egyptians often recorded knowledge symbolically rather than technically. Understanding their symbols means understanding their methods. The deeper archaeologists investigate these hieroglyphs, the more they realize something remarkable. The builders of the pyramids were not performing miracles. They were applying science, observation, engineering, and practical ingenuity on a scale never seen before. Yet the most fascinating evidence was still waiting to be discovered. because some archaeologists believe a recently studied ancient lifting system may explain exactly how massive stones reached extraordinary heights. Imagine standing at the base of the Great Pyramid. A stone block weighing several tons sits before you. No crane, no engine, no steel cables, just wood, rope, stone, and human hands. How could such a block possibly reach heights of more than 400 feet? For centuries, historians struggled to answer that question. Then archaeologists uncovered evidence of a mysterious lifting system that may finally explain how the impossible became reality. And the solution was surprisingly simple. One of the biggest misconceptions about the pyramids is that they were built using brute force alone. The reality was far more sophisticated. The Egyptians understood something fundamental about engineering. A small force, applied correctly, can move enormous weight. This principle forms the basis of nearly every machine used today. Levers, pulleys, jacks, cranes, all rely on the same idea. And evidence suggests the Egyptians mastered these concepts thousands of years ago. For decades, the most popular explanation involved giant ramps. According to this theory, workers dragged stone blocks up massive earthen ramps surrounding the pyramid. At first, the idea seemed reasonable, but problems quickly appeared. To reach the top of the Great Pyramid, the ramps themselves would need to be enormous. Some estimates suggested they would contain nearly as much material as a pyramid itself. Building such ramps would have required an incredible amount of labor and resources. This led researchers to explore alternative solutions. Then came one of the most important discoveries. At an ancient alabaster quarry known as Hatnub, archaeologists uncovered evidence of a sophisticated transport system dating back to the Pyramid Age. The site contained a steep central ramp, but what made it unusual were the staircases running alongside it. Along these staircases were rows of post holes. Researchers believe wooden poles were inserted into these holes. Workers could then wrap ropes around the poles to create a powerful mechanical advantage. As teams pulled the ropes, the stone block could be hauled upward with much greater efficiency. The discovery electrified the archaeological community. For the first time, there was physical evidence of an advanced lifting and hauling system used by the Egyptians. It demonstrated that they were capable of moving enormous loads up steep inclines, something many experts once thought impossible. But the mystery wasn't fully solved. Getting stones up a ramp is one thing. Positioning them precisely hundreds of feet above the ground is another. This is where another fascinating theory emerges. Many engineers believe the Egyptians relied heavily on wooden levers, simple devices capable of lifting heavy blocks a small distance at a time. The process may have worked like this. A block is dragged to a higher level. Workers place a lever beneath it. The block is raised slightly. Wooden supports are inserted underneath. The process repeats again and again. Each lift is small, but over time, the block rises higher and higher. It's slow, it's labor-intensive, but it's effective, and most importantly, it requires only materials available in ancient Egypt. Some researchers describe it as an ancient version of a hydraulic jack, except powered entirely by human effort. Ancient reliefs and hieroglyphic scenes seem to support the idea that Egyptians regularly used leverage and mechanical advantage during construction projects. While no complete lifting device has survived, the principles are clearly visible throughout Egyptian engineering. And that's what makes the discovery so remarkable. The Egyptians didn't need futuristic technology. They didn't need lost machines. They didn't need help from mythical civilizations. What they possessed was knowledge. Knowledge accumulated over generations of observation and experimentation. Then archaeologists noticed something even more intriguing. The pyramid builders appeared to have understood logistics at an extraordinary level. Thousands of workers had to be coordinated. Food had to be delivered. Tools had to be maintained. Materials had to arrive on schedule. The real miracle wasn't a machine. It was organization, the ability to manage one of the largest construction projects in human history. Recent computer simulations have shown that teams using ramps, ropes, sledges, and lever systems could theoretically move and position pyramid blocks exactly as the Egyptians did. What once seemed impossible now appears entirely achievable. Yet despite these breakthroughs, mysteries remain. No complete instruction manual has ever been found. No detailed blueprint explains every stage of construction. Some secrets are still hidden beneath the sands, and some hieroglyph may contain clues that researchers have not fully understood. For centuries, people believed the builders of the pyramids left no explanation behind, no records, no instructions, no evidence. It was as if the greatest construction project in human history had appeared from nowhere. But then archaeologists made a discovery that changed everything. Hidden near the Red Sea were ancient documents written by the workers themselves. Not myths, not legends, real records. And what they revealed about the pyramid builders was astonishing. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding the Great Pyramid has always been organization. Moving a single stone block is difficult. Moving more than 2 million blocks is something else entirely. Even if the Egyptians possessed ramps, sledges, and lifting devices, another question remained. Who coordinated everything? How did thousands of workers operate together without chaos? The answer began emerging through one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the 21st century. Near an ancient harbor called Wadi al-Jarf, archaeologists uncovered a collection of papyrus documents. Among them was something extraordinary. The personal diary of a man named Meir. Meir was not a king, not a priest, not a nobleman. He was a supervisor, a middle-ranking official responsible for managing work crews. His writings provide one of the oldest surviving records ever discovered, and they offer a rare glimpse into the construction of the Great Pyramid itself. According to the diary, Meir's team spent their days transporting limestone blocks. The stones were loaded onto boats, then carried along canal connected to the Nile River. From there, they were delivered directly to the pyramid construction site. The discovery shocked historians. For generations, people wondered how the Egyptians moved so much stone. Now there was direct evidence. The Nile wasn't just a river. It was a giant transportation highway. The Egyptians had engineered waterways that brought materials exactly where they were needed. This dramatically reduced the difficulty of transportation. Instead of dragging stones across vast desert distances, workers used boats for much of the journey. The system was efficient, organized, and surprisingly advanced. But Meir's diary revealed something even more impressive. The pyramid project functioned like a massive national operation. Thousands of workers performed specialized tasks. Some cut stone, some transported materials, some prepared food, others managed logistics and supplies. Everyone had a role. Everyone followed a plan. The builders weren't simply laborious. They were part of a carefully coordinated machine. Archaeologists have also discovered worker villages near Giza. These settlements tell an incredible story. The workers received food, medical treatment, housing, and organized support systems. Animal bones found at the site indicate huge quantities of cattle, sheep, and goats were consumed. The workers were fed surprisingly well. This evidence challenges the old myth that the pyramids were built primarily by slaves. Instead, many researchers believe they were constructed by skilled laborers working in rotating crews. Some crews even gave themselves names. Ancient inscriptions reveal titles such as the Friends of Khufu and the Drunkards of Menkaure. These names sound surprisingly human, almost like sports teams competing against one another. They remind us that behind the pyramids were real people. People with personalities, friendships, ambitions, and pride in their work. Then came another fascinating discovery. Inside hidden chambers above the king's chamber, archaeologists found ancient graffiti left by workers. These markings were never intended for public view. They were hidden deep inside the pyramid itself, and because of that, they are considered highly authentic. The inscriptions identify construction crews and directly connect the monument to Pharaoh Khufu. For historians, this was priceless evidence. It confirmed who built the pyramid, and it provided a rare voice from the workers themselves. Yet perhaps the most remarkable lesson from these discoveries is what they reveal about Egyptian knowledge. The builders understood mathematics, surveying, logistics, project management, transportation, and engineering. They coordinated resources on a scale unmatched anywhere else in the world at the time. The pyramid wasn't simply a structure. It was proof of an extraordinary civilization, a civilization capable of solving problems through intelligence rather than brute force. And the hieroglyphs, records, and inscriptions are finally allowing us to see how they did it. But one final mystery remains. Even if stones could be transported and lifted, how did the Egyptians achieve such astonishing precision? How did they align massive blocks so perfectly that modern engineers still admire their accuracy? And what does this reveal about the true genius of the pyramid builders? Moving millions of stone blocks was impressive. Lifting them was extraordinary. But neither of those achievements is what truly amazes modern engineers. The real mystery begins when you look closer, much closer, because a Great Pyramid isn't just big. It's incredibly precise. So precise that even today, with laser equipment and modern technology, experts remain stunned by its accuracy. How did a civilization living 4,500 years ago achieve something so extraordinary? The answer reveals the true genius of ancient Egypt. When most people first see the Great Pyramid, they notice its size. Originally standing at nearly 481 feet tall, it remained the tallest human-made structure on Earth for almost 4,000 years. But archaeologists and engineers notice something else. Its alignment. The pyramid points almost perfectly toward the cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. The error is incredibly small, less than many modern buildings. This immediately raises questions. How could ancient builders achieve such precision without compasses, without satellites, without GPS? Researchers believe the answer lies in careful astronomical observation. The Egyptians were expert sky watchers. Night after night, they studied the movement of stars. By tracking specific stars as they crossed the sky, surveyors could establish accurate directional lines. Simple tools, patient observation, extraordinary results. Then comes the foundation itself. The base of the Great Pyramid covers more than 13 acres, yet the ground beneath it was leveled with astonishing accuracy. The difference between the highest and lowest points is only a few centimeters. Think about that. An area larger than several football fields leveled almost perfectly thousands of years before modern machinery. Even today, creating such precision would require significant planning. Archaeologists believe the Egyptians used water-filled trenches to establish level reference points. Since water naturally seeks its own level, it provided a simple but highly effective measuring system. Again, no advanced technology, just intelligent engineering. Then there are the stone blocks themselves. Many fit together with remarkable precision. Some joints are so tight that it is difficult to insert a blade between them. The builders carefully shaped each stone to ensure stability and durability. And the results speak for themselves. The pyramid has survived earthquakes, sandstorms, floods, and more than 4 millennia of environmental change. Yet it still stands. Another fascinating mystery involves the internal chambers. The king's chamber, the queen's chamber, the grand gallery. Each was constructed with incredible accuracy. The grand gallery alone remains one of the most impressive architectural spaces in the ancient world. Its soaring ceiling rises more than 28 feet high. Its walls were built using a technique known as corbelling, where each layer extends slightly inward. This design distributes weight efficiently and prevents collapse. The Egyptians clearly understood structural engineering at a sophisticated level. But perhaps the most remarkable achievement involves the king's chamber. Above it sit massive granite blocks weighing dozens of tons each. These blocks form a series of relieving chambers designed to redirect pressure away from the room below. Without them, the chamber could have collapsed under the immense weight of the pyramid. Think about what that means. The builders anticipated structural stress before construction was complete. They designed solutions in advance. That level of planning demonstrates an impressive understanding of architecture and physics. Then archaeologists discovered evidence suggesting the pyramid was built according to carefully calculated measurements. Many dimensions appear intentional. Many proportions repeat throughout the structure. Whether these relationships were symbolic, practical, or both remains debated, but they clearly demonstrate a sophisticated design process. Nothing was random. Everything served a purpose. And that may be the greatest lesson of all. The pyramid was not built through brute force alone. It was built through knowledge, through planning, through mathematics, through engineering. The lifting devices, ramps, sledges, and transport systems were only part of the story. The true achievement was the ability to coordinate all of those elements into a single monumental project. A project so successful that it still stands after 4,500 years. Yet one final question remains. If the Egyptians were capable of such remarkable engineering, why did later civilizations struggle to match their achievements? And what ultimately happened to the knowledge used to build the pyramids? For centuries, people searched for a hidden answer, a lost machine, a forgotten technology, a secret device capable of explaining the Great Pyramid. Some looked to legends, Others looked to myths. Some even imagined visitors from another world. But after decades of archaeological discoveries, one truth has become increasingly clear. The real secret behind the pyramids may be more impressive than any mystery, because the greatest tool the Egyptians possessed wasn't a machine at all. It was knowledge. As archaeologists continue studying ancient inscriptions, worker records, quarry sites, and construction remains, a fascinating picture emerges. The pyramids were not the product of magic. They were not the product of impossible technology. They were the result of thousands of skilled people working together toward a common goal. Every discovery points in the same direction. The builders understood how to move heavy loads. They understood how to reduce friction. They understood how to use ramps, levers, ropes, counterbalances, and simple lifting systems capable of multiplying human strength. Individually, none of these technologies seem extraordinary. Together, they became powerful enough to build wonders. The hieroglyphs and records discovered over the last century reveal a civilization obsessed with organization. Nothing was left to chance. Stone had to be quarried, transported, measured, lifted, positioned, and inspected. Every stage required planning. Every stage required coordination. And every stage required knowledge passed from one generation to the next. The famous device many researchers believe was used wasn't a single machine. It was a combination of engineering solutions, wooden sledges moving over wet sand, ramp systems designed for heavy transport, rope-assisted hauling mechanisms, lever-based lifting techniques. Together, these tools transformed impossible tasks into achievable ones. The discovery at Hatnub was especially important. It showed that Egyptians had developed methods for pulling massive stones up steep slopes using ropes and strategically placed posts. Combined with evidence from ancient reliefs and construction sites, the picture becomes clearer. The pyramid builders were engineers, practical problem solvers, masters of efficiency, and perhaps that is why the pyramids remain so inspiring today, because they remind us what human beings can accomplish through intelligence and cooperation. No engines, no computers, no modern machinery, yet somehow they built monuments that have survived for more than 4,500 years. The Great Pyramid has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the birth of nations, the development of science, the spread of religions, and still it stands, not because of a mysterious secret, but because of remarkable engineering. Ironically, the more archaeologists learn about the pyramids, the more impressive the builders become. The mystery is not that they use advanced lost technology. The mystery is how they achieved so much with the tools available to them. And every year, new discoveries continue adding pieces to the puzzle. New inscriptions, new quarry evidence, new construction clues. The story is still being written. Some secrets remain buried beneath Egypt's sands. Others may never be fully known. But one thing is certain. The builders of the pyramids were among the greatest engineers the world has ever seen. Their knowledge shaped history. Their monuments changed the world. And their achievements continue to inspire thousands of years later. Perhaps the greatest lesson of all is this. The real wonder of the pyramids isn't a lost machine. It isn't a hidden device. It isn't an ancient mystery. The real wonder is the human mind, the ability to imagine something impossible and then build it. If you enjoyed this journey into the engineering secrets of ancient Egypt, be sure to subscribe to Mystery of the Ancients and turn on notifications for more stories about lost technologies, hidden hieroglyphs, forgotten civilizations, ancient discoveries, and the greatest mysteries ever buried beneath the sands of time. The deeper we explore the ancient world, the more extraordinary it becomes.